But I won't take up too much of your time. We're gonna jump straight into the topic that we're looking forward to, the WordPress developer, um, or how to kick off your career in WordPress. And I'm just gonna introduce Jason Bruno, our speaker for today. There you go. Hi, Jason. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Okay, slow Friday.
Yes, yes. Just starting my
Busy
Friday.
as busy as usual. But
Yeah,
okay, I won't take up too much of your time, Jason. I'll let you kick off with your presentation, and
sure, sure.
yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one. So stay tuned, especially if you want that certificate. Also, stay tuned. So yeah, thanks, Jason. I'll leave the floor to you now.
All right, cool. Let me share my screen in here.
Okay.
Sharing. All right. Okay. So let me start off by like introducing myself in here. I'm Jason Bruno, and I'll be introducing more of myself later on along this slides. So let's start presenting. Okay, so start off, we'll be talking about starting a career with WordPress in 2021, post-COVID. So, what can you do since hindi na tayo pwedeng lumabas masyado, mga ganun, what else can you do? How do you even start? Okay, so okay, I'll give you a link to this slide, so just in case you want to follow through. I'm not sure how many of you are in here in this call now, but sometimes the quality is not that good, so you might want a copy of the slides, especially for later. The link is bit.ly WP Career if you don't have a smartphone for scanning right now. Okay, so our format for today will be starting with the who, of course, why, what, when, where, and how. So let's start with who. Who the hell? Okay, so right from the get-go, from the start, I am a live or what you call a location independent entrepreneur. Okay, so what that means is just like um an advanced digital nomad where you can live and work anywhere you want. Fortunately, the pandemic struck me so hard, and then I got a baby, so I'm stuck back here in my hometown in Marikina. Of course, another thing that I do is I'm also a teacher. I teach in a coding bootcamp, and that's the only Silicon Valley style coding bootcamp here in the Philippines. And I am duly recognized by the International Telecommunications Union, which is a part of the United Nations. Okay, and then lastly, of course, I am a fanboy, WordPress advocate, doing open source, and I just added this on my slides right here at the bottom part is what my GitHub looks like ever since the pandemic started. So I started coding and then committing to my GitHub repositories again. So that's how the pandemic looks like in terms of GitHub. Okay, so let's start with the actual thing. And let's start with the why. Okay, so why WordPress? Why WordPress? Because WordPress is still like the number one content management system in the world. So, of course, why are we doing this? Because I want you guys to start being practical and start making money before you even learn how to actually code. And one of the ways that you could do that is by WordPress. So let's see what WordPress looks like in terms of, let's say, market share. Okay, so 60.4, that's around 33.5% of all the websites online are made in WordPress. Okay, WordPress is made in PHP, which is about 78.9% of the internet. Okay, so that's how big the technologies that we'll be using um, here. So no matter what anyone says, kapag ka nakikipag-away kayo online, which is very common to a lot of these forums, always stop them with actual numbers. So let's say, maganda tong framework na to, maganda tong language na to, mas maganda yung ganito or anything. Just hit them up with, let's say, market share. Okay, so that's pwede natin sabihin na, okay, sige, mas maganda yung platform mo, yung CMS mo, pero still WordPress is the number one maganda yung language mo, pero still PHP is still 78% of the internet. Okay, even Facebook, the platform that you're in, and platform na pinag-aawayan nyo is made in PHP. Okay, so that's one of the things how I decide on what technologies and what software to use. It's about the numbers. We'll get to that, more of that later on kapag pumipili na tayo ng mga themes, plugins. Okay, so lastly on the why is, okay, let's hit ourselves with the hard truth that of course for us to start our career development journey we have to learn, and learning takes time takes away a lot of things from us, and of course that's including the opportunity for us to make money. Okay, so para makapag-aral tayo for 1 week, we have to survive for 1 week. Okay, how are we gonna do that is because is kailangan natin kumita ng pera para mapakain natin yung sarili natin and mag-survive tayo for the rest of the week to study more and grow ourselves. So that's why for me, one of the most practical ways to study and like grow in your career is to start making money as soon as you can. And with WordPress, we can do that. Okay, so moving forward, okay, this is like this would sound like a pitch from popular networking companies, but this is reality. Okay, so we'll be doing like earning potentials. I'll be making a quick website later on, which of course, if you are watching right now and you have a website in mind, let's say make a quick website for restaurant or Jollibee or anything. Okay, just throw it out there in the comments section. I'm pretty sure Jansen would be notifying me later on if meron na siyang napili kung ano yung magandang ipagawa. Quick website lang, 2-3 pages website, and then I'll make a live calculation on magkano ba yung ganung website. Okay, so it usually ranges from anywhere from $100 to $500 per website, which you could do in under 15 minutes. Okay, so if malakas yung sales team nyo or malakas ka magbenta, you could do unlimited amounts of that. Okay, so next is yung roadmap natin. I'll be explaining this along the way. This would be one of your key takeaways of this presentation would be the roadmap. Okay, so from no code, okay, WordPress is, meron tayong bagong term ngayon, yun nga yung no code. No code development is used especially sa mga app, sa mga app development. Yun yung mga builders, you know. So, I mean, for me, I could consider WordPress, since it's a CMS, it's a content management system, it's a no-code platform. To actually coding it. So, what are we gonna do for using WordPress as a gateway to coding in front end, in back end, even DevOps and cybersecurity. And of course, lastly is I'm gonna be teaching you how to learn just about anything using WordPress. Okay, anything, as in like kung gusto mo matuto maglaba, gusto mo matuto magluto, I will use WordPress for that, and I'll show you how to do that later on. And that's exactly how most programmers, especially kapag kayo niya marami na experience, you would be surprised na marami silang alam sa mundo kasi they are learning as they go. Okay. Okay, so let's do some quick definitions. This would be definitions that are not gonna be like based on like book definitions. Mas madali kapag ka naiintindihan natin lahat, mas madali kapag ka may alam kayong definition na mas madali. Okay, as how I would want to call it ELI 5. Okay, you could Google that and search that on Reddit. ELI 5, explain like I'm 5. So this is like explaining things to a 5-year-old. Why do you need to know this? Like, kabisado mo na yung definitions, kabisado mo na yung meanings, pwede mo i-Google yon. Pero why do you need to know layman's definitions of these terms? Kasi you would have to educate your clients. Okay, if you don't educate your clients, you would not get a good feedback from them. Okay, so the one of the main reasons why developers are being like better than others is their ability to explain the technology to others. Okay, especially non-tech people. Kaya nga hinire ng mga taong to kasi hindi sila marunong ng mga ganung bagay. And then there you go, nagsasalita ng tech jargon. Okay, so let's start with WordPress. WordPress. Okay, so WordPress originally is a platform where you can blog, pero it grew with its like 16 years of existence. It grew into a CMS, which the next point in here is CMS, which is what we call content management system. So on its own, literal words, if we take that apart, content, okay, so website content, so WCMS, web content, um, means content, yung mga nakasulat, yung mga text doon, yung mga images doon, yung mga logo doon. Those are all content. Anything that you could see on your website is content. Okay, management system. Management system is management, like a system for managing the content. Okay, so ganun lang kasimple yun. Wag nating i-overcomplicate lahat. Okay, so this is like the official logo of WordPress. Anytime that you see this, this is the official logo of WordPress. CMS, okay, marami tayong mga examples ng CMS dyan, like Joomla, Drupal, you might have heard of them. They're all good. Ang ano lang ngayon, focus lang ngayon is WordPress because this is the one that I am very much used at. Okay, so I've been using WordPress for ever since. Okay, before version 1, which is we are on version 5 now. Okay, so website. What is a website? Okay, so a common analogy for websites actually is sabi nila libro, magazine, or anything. But literally, it is patterned towards newspapers. Okay? So kapag ka nakakita ka ng mga loose leaf newspaper, yung hindi sila naka-stapler and anything, gano'n, gano'n siya. So merong mga, lahat ng pages may header, lahat ng pages merong footer, lahat ng pages pwede mong kuhain, ibigay sa ibang tao. Okay? And then other terms like, yun nga, yung fold. Fold, ibig sabihin kapag ka nakatupi yung newspaper binigay sa'yo, yun yung unang mo makikita. So that's why yung meron tayong term na above the fold. Yun yung unang makikita mo. So meron tayong mga headline, meron tayong mga ganon. And yun nga, speaking of yung mga headline, paragraph, or anything, those are, if you're familiar, HTML elements. Okay, so HTML elements, if you mix up a bunch of them, let's say, isang title, isang headline, tapos dalawang paragraph, you can call that a component. Okay, if it's a group of elements that function together. Okay, so that's a component. And then a group of components, let's say yung header part mo, may menu siya, may logo siya, may mga login links, that's called a section or a part of a website. And mix all of those, you have a web page. Okay, and many web pages would make a website. Okay, so just always remember that it's a newspaper and everything in there is part by part and the whole thing is a website. Okay, so domain name, just to get this easily, yung nandun sa address bar nyo sa taas, what you type, let's say facebook.com, yung mga .com, .org, .net, those are what you call domain names. Okay, so there are other technical definitions for domain names or other like extensions, which we will not be discussing in here, pero feel free to Google about it. Lastly, that we'll be using, defining in here is web hosting. Okay, so web hosting is basically storage online. Kasi gagawa ka nga ng website, there has to be a place na ilalagay mo yung mga files mo. Okay, so it could either be a virtual private server, a shared hosting, a cloud, ganon. So meron tayong mga options for that. Pero for us, since we're gonna be using WordPress, this is one of the cheapest web hosting packages that you would be finding online. Yung mga basic packages nila, basta PHP, pwede na yon. Hindi gaya nung if you're using, let's say, mga advanced applications, kailangan sila mas advanced sa server. This time, we're just using WordPress, simple website na naman. The most basic $5, $1 package would do. Okay, so I normally just go for what we call the big three, which is GoDaddy, HostGator, or HostMonster. So sila yung pinakamalaki. Don't mind na sinasabi nilang ang daming reklamo, ang daming ano for the GoDaddy, they're still the best. Okay, so kasi maraming reklamo kasi maraming users. Okay, so if you take percentage of that, it's just like a very small amount of the number of users. Okay, so when let's start talking about timelines of things. Is it too late? to do this? Is it too late to study now? Is it too late to learn WordPress now? Some would say yes kasi marami ng ibang bago, marami ng ibang parang mas okay. Okay, so a lot of people in WordPress community would say it's never too late to do anything, especially in WordPress because it's evolving. Okay, so it's better to study now kasi next week baka may bago na and you're already acquainted to it and you already are in a position where you could upgrade yourself. Okay, are you too old for this? No, there are 80-year-old developers or 90-year-old developers. Age is not a problem with this as long as you can understand English. Kasi most ng tutorials natin English. Okay, if medyo hirap ka pa rin doon, WordPress actually has a Tagalog language pack, which some of the people from the WordPress community are contributing into. Kahit ako, nagko-contribute ako ng mga Tagalog translations to that, which you could do that as well. You could search for the Tagalog translation team. Okay, how long would it take to master this? We don't actually do like the master this, expert in this. Okay, what we do is like experience-wise. Kasi you could be making websites for 10 years and have not learned anything. And you could be making websites for 5 months and you're already acquainted to a lot of the parts. So iba-iba yun, per tao. Okay, so where to find help? Okay, again, we're basing it on numbers. So if you go to Facebook alone, there are WordPress Philippines already has 3 groups. Yung isa 8,000, yung isa 9,000, yung isa 12,000 na members. Okay, that's a lot. You could ask in Tagalog, you said that's Philippines. Then you have like WordPress, WordPress other countries, other places. Like I'm the founder of WordPress Baguio user group, which we have like a few hundred members already. And also, if you have a meetup.com account, that's the official WordPress. That's how you would know that a WordPress user group for a certain place is official if nasa meetup sila. So, ganun. Okay, so where to next? Will be coding. So again, if you are online and you have commented on the comment section, I would want to know kung ano yung gusto nyo ipagawang website sa atin, just for the sake of me showing you how fast it is to make websites using WordPress. Jansen, meron pa tayong comments? Do you have comments?
Yeah, but most of them are questions yet. Nobody suggested a website yet, but I have one in mind. Is that okay?
Okay. So wala.
None yet so far, but they do have a lot of questions regarding
Okay.
regarding
So
WordPress development.
let's make
Um,
something familiar. Okay.
okay.
Can I like massacre Filta? I don't know, Filta global.com?
Yeah, sure thing.
Yeah. So I'll be massacring this website. So this is very familiar to the hosts of this uh, of this webinar. Okay, so let's make this big. Okay, so first off, if you're handed off, let's say I want to redo this website or I want to make a website that has all this content in there. So what we are going to do is, of course, we will be doing our research. So if you're familiar with the software development lifecycle, everything always starts with planning. Because if you plan ahead, you won't have to go back again. And that's what we call technical debt. So kapag may technical debt ka, utang yon, kailangan mong baguhin, kailangan mong balikan, kailangan mong ayusin. So what we'll be doing is a clone or copy of filtagroup.com. Okay, so next is, of course, we need to pick a theme. So theme, what are we going to use? So let's go back to our browser in there. Top themes. Top themes 2021. Why am I doing this? Because, okay, I only want to use what other people uses. We can actually uh, I'll share with you a quick tool that I use whenever I'm copying websites. This is actually the fastest way that you can impress your client. Okay, so give the domain name, go to buildwith.com, put their domain name in there, and then you could find out a lot of things about their website. So from here, okay, so they're using WordPress. They're using font, awesome. They're using this plugins like Contact Form 7, even the like Yoast, okay, even the email login. Okay, the theme that they use is Divi. Okay, Divi is one of the best themes out there because it's they have their own page filters, and you could build a lot of things with Divi. So yeah, we could use that. Problem with that is it's paid, and I don't want to use paid copies in here just for the sake of demonstrations. So we'll go with whatever's free. Okay, these things are free. I'm not sure. Yeah, this is free Astra. Okay, so let's try use one of this Astra. So let's put that in our notes. Astra. Okay, plugins. We know for sure that they are using Contact Form 7. Okay, this is one of the standard plugins that I normally use if I want to throw in a quick form, contact form, like say email me or message me, use Contact Form 7. Yoast, okay, it's one of the like very common plugins in there. It's for SEO. And then if I remember it right, I saw Yoast, CF7, WP Rocket for promotions, Team My Login. Okay, no. Okay, na yan. Okay, so that's it. And then we'll do, how many pages does this website have? They do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pages. Let's make like 2, 3 pages of it. Okay, so pages. Let's do homepage. Let's do like what else do they have? Outsourcing. Look like outsourcing. Then careers. Okay, that's it. Let's do 3 pages. Just to prove the point that we could do this like super fast. Okay, so we have that. We have we're done with planning. Okay, so next thing that we'll be doing is picking a domain name and hosting. Most of the time, the client would have to provide this for you. Why? Because they would want to buy it using their own credit cards. They would want to buy it using their own email addresses, and that's off you. But given the case that they don't have a domain name in web hosting, you could buy it on your own and just charge them for that. And I'll show you that how to do that in the computation later on. Okay, so let's move forward to going to WordPress.org. Okay, so there are 2 types of WordPress. There's WordPress.com. WordPress.com is self-hosted WordPress. Is hosted WordPress solution, which is sa kanila. Parang Facebook, magsa-sign up ka, mag-login ka, meron ka ng something.wordpress.com or pwede mo lagyan ng domain name kung gusto mo. Pero the other one is a self-hosted solution, which is in WordPress.org. Okay, so as you can see in here, right at the very top, Get WordPress. So Get WordPress, clicking on that would take you to the download page of the latest WordPress version. Okay, there 5.6. Okay, and in here it has like all the documentation that you need, like how to install this. Like this is a guide from their codex. So we'll be using their famous 5-minute installation and setting up. Okay, so how do we do that? Let's go back here. Okay, 5-minute installation. This is actually faster, way faster. You go build your database. You go copy the files, and then go to index.php. That's it. Okay, so let's do that exactly like that right now. I'll be creating quick. Okay, so I'm using XAMPP. You could use whatever server you have, or you could even do this online. There are one-click installation, one-click like installers in most of the web hosting like companies. Okay, so let's do that. Let's create a new folder. Let's call this Filta. Okay, copy the WordPress files in there. It's a zip file. Okay, we'll be extracting all in here. Okay, so as you can see, it created a new folder called WordPress, which is done. Okay, so just copy all this to the root folder. You don't have to do that. I just want it like easier for me. Okay, so I'm done with that. Now go back to our browser, making database. So since I'm using XAMPP, I have a PHP which allows me to create database in as simple as one, just like 2 clicks. Okay, so click on new, then Filta, and then there you go. So I have a database, and then I could go to local host slash Filta, which is the folder name that I just created. And there you go. It should ask me like anong gusto kong language. It has like Cebuano if you want. It has Tagalog uh, in here. So mind you, we're using the word Tagalog, not Filipino, because we're this started even before yung pinalitan ng Filipino yung actual na language. Okay, so we'll be using English just for the sake of standardization. Okay, so it would like remind you that you need the database name, which we already have, database username and password, which I already have because I'm using a standard version of XAMPP. Host is of course localhost, and table prefix, which is optional. Okay, so let's do database name filter, the one that we created in local in PHP MyAdmin in here. Okay, so since this is a basic installation, username is root, password is blank. Okay, never mind about like setting up hyper security in here because this is just going to be on your local. Sa computer mo lang to, wala namang iba makaka-access nito. So kahit mali-mali yung password mo, okay lang. Okay, so clicking on next and then run installation, this should be done just like that. Okay, so let's do filter global. Okay, username admin, password admin. Because again, this is just on my computer. Make sure that you're like using this guideline in here if you need if you're online. Kasi don't ever use admin. Okay, so email.com because I don't normally that. And this one, the last one is if ginagawa mo pala yung website, you would want to check this kasi baka makita ni Google na ay sira-sira yung website, ma-penalize ka. So always make it a point that you will be unchecking this, okay, once you're live na. Kapag ready ka na. Okay, I'll be doing that later on. Okay, install WordPress and we are done. Okay, see, so it's not even 5 minutes. Ganun lang siya kabilis. So it's just like depending on your computer. So right now I do have like a lot of things open on my computer, but it's there. Okay, so logging in to WordPress, admin. Okay, so this is the back end of the WordPress. There's two sides of the WordPress. This is what we call the WP admin or the dashboard. Going in here, visit site. This is your front page. This is your this is what the other people would see. Kapag pinintahan nila yung website mo, ito yung nakikita nila. So let's try to install a theme. Okay, you go. Okay, all this are English. Okay, so you don't have to worry about anong ginagawa ng post. Yeah, it is a post. Diba? So wala naman nagturo sa inyo paano gumamit ng Facebook. It's the same thing in here. We're trying to make this as user friendly as possible. So pages would be literal pages of your website. So appearance would, of course, modify the looks of your website. So go to themes, and then let's go back in their notes. Astra. Okay, so add new theme because Astra is not here. Click on add new theme. Let's try a search for that in the repository. There are currently hundreds of thousands of themes that are free in here. Ikaw na bahala kung ano gusto mo. Pero we have selected something that people already use, which is on top right now. There you go, Astra. Install. And that's what it does is downloading it from the internet and then putting it in your website, putting the files in your website so you have a copy of it. So feel free to make changes to other parts of it because ikaw lang ang may access doon kasi may copy ka nun. So once it's done, installed, activate it, and if you go back to your website, your front page, refresh this, it would look different now. There. Okay, so there you go. So we got Astra going in, and then let's go back to our notes. Let's install the plugins. We got Contact Form 7 and Yoast SEO. So plugins, of course, is in here. Add new. And again, you would be able to see in here that if we search for, let's say SEO na lang, okay? So let's not gonna use Yoast or whatever. Let's see what comes up. Yoast comes up first with 5 million active installations. Diba? So parang logically speaking, gagamitin mo ba tong SEO Press which has 100,000 active installations compared to 5 million active installations? Okay? Ganun lang kasimple yun. It's just like just make logic and numbers guide you through this. Of course, always use the ones with the higher number of users. Why? Because we're not bandwagoning in here. It's actually good kasi there are 5 million other people that you could ask. Chances are if you met a developer using WordPress, they have used this. Okay, so that's good. So install this, then click on activate, just like what we did earlier. Installed, activate, done. And go ahead, add a new one. According to our notes, we have Contact Form 7 to add. Okay, so I'll show you that later on. Okay, pasensya na. Bagal yung computer ko. Okay, it's the computer because I do have hundreds of tabs open. Okay, so like na-install natin yung Astra, it would like guide you through like starter templates, get started. We'll get through that later on. Yoast, since this is a big plugin, meron din silang parang ganyan yung initial install. If gusto mong gumawa ng e-commerce website, meron silang mga ganon. Okay, so let's click on the get started in here. Mamaya ako install yung Contact Form 7. So install Astra. Activate every part of it that we might be able to use. Okay, and probably start using like templates. I said this is like a quick website. Okay, so while waiting for that, I'm gonna go ahead, copy paste a lot of this pages. Okay. Content. Okay, let's go get here. And then let's go get the other pages. Outsourcing. What is outsourcing? Okay, copy this out. There you go. So we got two pages copied into our like notepad. I'll just tweak later on. Okay, so we got starter templates. So these are what we call page builders. Gutenberg is built in already to WordPress. Elementor, Beaver Builder, and Breezy are all good page builders. Up to you to experiment on which ones are like you're gonna be more comfortable using with. So I'll be using Gutenberg because it's already in my WordPress default, and that is it. So I'll just select ano ba yung tsura na gusto ko. So this looks like it's good. This looks like it's good. So I'll just click on any one of that. Okay, no. Papahabain pa natin yan. Okay, so we're done installing a plugin. We're done installing a theme. Now let's do pages. Okay, so pages, we'll do add new page. First off is our home page. See, ang homepage natin, walang laman. This is just like blog post. And then logo. Download natin itong logo na to. And then let's make a quick page in here. Okay, so most of you guys, if you need tutorials, you could click next in here, or for me, since I already know how to use this, I'll just close it out. And then homepage. So you can start writing out whatever you want, which is we already have it in here. So copy this one's in here. And we are done. So this one, on the very top, gawin natin siyang like gawin natin siyang heading, mas malaki, ganon. Ito, normal paragraph lang. Okay. So, hindi siya naghati-hati kasi minadali ko siya na copy-paste. Pero, yun. So, happy ko na lang. So, cut this and then add to insert after. I'll add that one and change that to paragraph. And we're good. So, H2, gawin natin H1. Marami naman mga andyan. Just feel free to experiment on kung ano yung mga tingin nyo na mas komportable kayong gawin. Okay, so click on publish. And we are done with our home page. Okay, so view page. Ganito yung tsura niya. Okay, so it doesn't look anything cool or anything. But if you read through the documentation ng Astra, you would be able to find out kung paano siya gamitin, kung paano magdagdag ng mga options dito, which I haven't actually tried. Yun nga, yung mga header nila, upload logo. Yun. Nakita ko yung upload logo. Lagyan natin ang logo. Okay, so if you spend more time in here, of course, that's going to be way better. That's going to look way better. Okay, select logo. Just as easy as dragging and dropping in here, and we are already uploaded that you could select and not crop. Okay, there you go. There, so we got our logo there. Cool. Site title. Okay, done. Publish, and we are done in that. So let's go back, select our homepage settings, static page, which is the one that we just created. Publish that, and that is our homepage. Done. And then template natin, may mga sidebar or ano, I think we could remove that. Let's see if that works. There we go. Okay, so we got our homepage in there. Okay, let's start creating more pages. Okay, so again, add new. And let's go for the outsourcing content. Okay. There. And if gusto nyo medyo technical kayo, and dito yung mga options since we installed Yoast, may mga options dito for SEO. Okay, that's our title. And then this one, gawin natin siyang, again, heading, H1, just to differentiate from the other content. You could add images in here. Let's say, gusto ko maglagay ang image dito sa part na to. Nakita yung plus, add like an image. And we already have an image in here in the media library. If you want to upload, same thing, drag and drop. Okay, so there you go, publish it, and we have another page. Okay, so we got 2 pages now. And if we refresh this, all of those pages are in here. The sample page, we could delete that later on, and we could manage our website. Okay, so that's how easy it is to create websites in WordPress. If you have questions, you could ask me later on. We're running out of time. So we'll go back to our slides and make quick computations on how much that was. Okay, so we got customization, we got install our theme, we installed a plugin, data encoding, just copy paste from whatever source you have. So sometimes actually ask Google Docs kasi nandun na yung mga H1, H2. Kapag ka nilagay nilang bold doon, bold na rin yung character. So mas madali. Testing and deployment is already deployed. Billing. Okay, so this is what a lot of you guys might be waiting for. So how much does the project cost? I normally use this formula and been using this for 10 years, more than 10 years, and it always works. Okay, so your overhead, which is the total cost of all the materials that you need, kung may babayaran kayong theme na ginawa ng ibang tao, kung may babayaran kayong graphics, may babayaran kayong web hosting, domain name, ilagay nyo lahat sa overhead yon. Plus, yung rate nyo. So, use like dollars, kasi dollars din yung domain name mo, dollars din yung web hosting mo. Just use the same currency. Okay, so I normally just use US dollars. Which is, let's say, start tayo ng mga $5 an hour, times 2. Everything times 2. Okay, why times 2? Kasi you would need to ask 50% down payment before you even start. That way, kahit mawala si client, kahit hindi kanya bayaran ng next half, everything's paid for. Okay, so the other half that na sisingilin mo sa kanya, lahat yon kita na. Okay, okay, so hours to complete. So let's go to our notepad here. Okay, so what did we do? Domain name and hosting. Okay, this normally costs like $10. Okay, so $10 yung domain name per year. Meron mga hosting packages na naka-promo, let's say GoDaddy, yung first year mo, $10 lang siya. May libre na siyang domain name. So, $10 lang siya. Okay. What else? Wala na tayong binili pa. Yun lang. Hindi tayo bumili ng mga themes. May mga ibang themes like $50, $60, $40, pero wala tayong binili for now. Now, for the hours, ilang pages ginawa natin? So, WP installation. Okay, so this normally, how long did it take us? Like 5 minutes. For homepage. Homepage normally takes more time. Okay, kasama nito yung customization, sama mo na dito. So 30 minutes. Homepage normally takes more time. So let's say 1 hour in here. And then all additional inner pages, like what we did for the outsourcing page, let's say 30 minutes. Okay, so that's everything. That's in total of 2 hours. Okay, so let's start like newbie ka pa lang, $5 an hour. Okay, so formula again, our overhead, which is $10 an hour, plus the rate, which is $5 an hour, times the hours that we have spent in here, all times 2. Okay, so again, if you spend more hours, dagdagan nyo lang itong part na to, and that should be good. So that's 5 times 2 is 10, 10 plus 10 times 2 is that's $20 for 2 hours of your time. Not bad. Okay? So and then singilin mo yung first half, which is $10 before you even start. That way, bayad na yung hours mo even before you do it. And then once you're done with it, get under $10 and that's more money for you. That always works. Okay, so what have we learned so far? Earning potential of this, unlimited. As long as you could sell websites, you could do like so much money that you could you could not even spend it anymore. No code to code. Okay, so road to front end. Since WordPress allows you to use like yun nga, mga H1, then you'll start to get acquainted. Ano ba yung H1? Ano ba yung P tag? Ano ba yung A? Mga ganun. And then later on, you'll get like, pwede ko palang palitan yung color ng something using CSS. So you could use that. And then, of course, you could make things like more dynamic using JavaScript. If you want to go a little more hardcore, custom theme, custom plugin, paano ba nila ginagawa yan? They're made in PHP. Okay, now if you want to, let's say, deploy this into different kinds of servers, that's what we call DevOps. Cybersecurity, of course, if you're trying to secure it, most of the time, those are just powered by plugins. Okay, so yun na yung last, yung natin, main catch natin is hypothetical tool for learning just about anything. So what did we learn apart from like madali lang ang WordPress and everything or whatever? Okay? If nagbasa kayo, if wala kayong magawa, nag-copy paste kayo or anything, nabasa nyo. So, ibig sabihin, that's plus one experience for building a website for an outsourcing company. Okay, so next time that you come up and speak to another person about outsourcing companies, you know a lot about it. Let's say nakagawa ka na ng isang daang lawyer website, pwede ka makipag-usap sa abogado. Let's say nakagawa ka na ng isang daang websites for hospitals, you could talk to doctors and you'll be surprised that you'd be speaking the same language already. And that's exactly how you would be using something like WordPress for learning. If you want to learn, let's say, a new language, Japanese, gumawa ka ng Japanese websites. If you want to learn paano magluto, gumawa ka ng mga recipe websites. Okay? Make sure that you're paid for it para kung nabayaran ka na, may kliyente ka na, natuto ka pa. Okay? So maximize everything. And don't stop and learning, or at least repeat. Repetition is the key in here. And always learn from your projects. Okay? So again, for you to learn more, you have to earn first. Kasi if hindi ka kumikita, nag-aaral ka lang, gutom ka, wala, hindi papasok sa utak mo yan, sayang lang. Okay, so that ends everything, which we still have a few more minutes to answer some of your questions, which I believe Jansen has already curated for me. Okay,
Yeah.
so, or if, let's say, since Filipino tayo lahat, marami sa inyo mahiyain, you could go into any social media, find me, jsnbrn.com, or use this hashtag AskJasonBruno. I'll be monitoring this for the next couple of days. Tingnan ko masasagot ko kayo. Okay, so for now, let's go back to the comments. Jansen,
Yeah, we'll try to
Meron.
answer questions as much as possible. So for those questions that we wouldn't be able to answer, make sure to message Jason. I think it would be a great it would be a great help since someone is really offering help already, a helping hand. So Jason, I'll start off with this one. Good presentation by the way. So one good question that we've received is from Mary Grace Isonza. She actually asked is it better to start off your development career, especially if you're a career shifter, in doing in being a freelancer or joining a company where you'd be doing full time?
Okay, so both are good, and I would suggest that you do the same, both at the same time. Okay, so you do your full time kasi you need the experience working with a team using WordPress. You do your freelancing kasi marami ka masyadong free time, and of course you would want to maximize everything. Sayang naman. Okay, it's a learning opportunity other than being an earning opportunity. So you do both if you can. Pero for me, go with a local company. If you're being hired, sige, you know.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good one. It actually depends on how much load that you can take in, but that's a good one.
Yes.
Um, we have another one from Christian Tenazas Solayo. He was asking if do you have a roadmap where you can suggest or a roadmap on how to become a WordPress web developer. I think it's referring to a full blown one,
All
not
right.
just
So
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Meron tayong mga ganon. A lot of people would publish it, pero it actually depends. Kasi maraming uses. WordPress is actually evolved too much from a CMS to a framework now. So marami ka na pwedeng gawin sa WordPress. So you could like use yun nga, mga more advanced things. Pero for me, if you would want guidance, this website actually is really good. Um, Go Google up wpbeginner.com. Okay, so it's like a website, a blog site with a lot of tips on how to do this, how to do that, how to make websites for like companies, ganito, how to create services section in WordPress. So use this. And for me, yun nga, if you're looking for roadmaps, I would suggest that yun nga, let's be practical, start earning first. Find a client, and then kung ano yung gusto ng client na yun yung roadmap mo. Diba? Let's be practical.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay. Um, and we do have another question from Pauline. Pauline Ires. How long does it take you, or how would you be able to? When would you be able to call yourself a WordPress developer? or and
Okay, so
how long does it
again, yeah, again, we
maybe
don't use
just
the word master WordPress kasi by the time na, yun nga, parang programming, by the time na nakabisado mo yung 2,000 syntax, so na 2,000 commands, meron ng bagong 1,000. So, walang master, di ba? So, for me, it's about repetition. How many times have you installed WordPress along your time? Let's say, gumagawa ka ng one WordPress website per week for 5 years, that's like 52 weeks times 5. That's how many websites you have done, and that would like around 1,000 to 2,000 installations. Doon mo na pwedeng tawagin yung consider sarili mo as senior. Ganun. So it's repetition.
okay. All right. So for you, it's basing on years of experience, and if you have that years
Yes.
of experience, and you can do mostly anything when you receive job specs, that's what you call
Yeah,
yourself.
kasi by the time na nakapag-install ka na ng
Yeah.
mga 1,000 WordPress installations, nakagawa ka na ng website for just about anything. Kasi it's so
Yeah.
flexible. So, nakagawa ka na ng website for lawyers, nakagawa ka na ng website Tagalog, English, like yun.
Yeah. So basically, it really depends on experience wise. Okay. All right.
Yes.
We also have another question. This is from ID Pineda. She asked, hmm, she's she's she actually has a multi-site website, and
Yes.
what's the best feature is for that?
Okay, best feature of a multi-site, actually the best example of a WordPress multi-site is WordPress.com. Okay, so multi-site is basically owning a network of websites. So you control everything. You control kung gusto mo sila makapag-install ng sarili nilang theme or mamili lang sila sa mga themes na to. So ginagawa yun, let's say may gagawa ako ng membership website na lahat ng mga members ko may sarili-sariling website. Let's say jason.bigwebsite.com, which is subdomain or pwedeng folder, bigwebsite.com/jason, pwedeng ganun. So what's best for multi-site is you control a wide network of websites, which is a built-in function now so WordPress if you want to make it a multi-site.
Okay, all right, and we have another one from Aga McCarthy. He's asking, do you have a list of plugins that you always use for all types of websites?
Uh, yes and no. Yes, I do have a list of plugins, and no kasi nagbabago siya lagi. Yun nga, I would suggest that you do what I did earlier, best plugin SEO 2021, where you go back to your WordPress installation and just type in the keyword that you would want. And most of the time, ang lalabas sa top one is the top one, yung pinakamaraming installation. Diba? So you could go in here sa plugins. Okay, let's say I want to install a security plugin. So let's say security. So lalabas to security or mga ganon. Diba? So it automatically just searches for the best ones for you. And most of the time it's, yeah, WordFence, okay, is good because it has like 4 million. Okay, Jetpack is an all-in-one package. Nandito na lahat ng mga scanners mo, mga ganon. That's why yun nga. And it's actually like very powerful. So I would suggest that you install Jetpack as general rule if meron kang WordPress.com account. If wala, or ayaw mong i-connect siya sa WordPress.com account, by the way, if you see Automatic, that's the makers of WordPress. So all the plugins that they made are for sure good. Okay, so always go for the larger numbers in here. Ganun lang. So let's say plugin, like plugin for contact form. Okay, so makikita natin Gravity, Ninja, WP, nandito lahat yung mga forms natin. The reason why I use Contact Form 7 is it's top 1 at 5 million active installations. And kaibigan ko yung gumawa. So he's Japanese. So he actually is a really good person sa mga ganun. Okay, so always search for the top 1 according to numbers.
Make sure to check that one guys out before anything else. That's most of the questions that we have for Jason. That's only what time permits, but again, Jason is really open to answer questions after this. I'm sure that he can squeeze in a couple of minutes of his time, or maybe answer it until tomorrow. Um,
Sure.
so for those questions that we failed to accommodate, make sure to scan that QR code and or message Jason directly here in Facebook if that's okay. So we can accommodate your questions regarding WordPress. But yeah. So Jason, do you have like anything that you'd like to share or promote about?
Yeah, sure. Since I am, as I have told you earlier when I introduced myself, I am a teacher. I teach. So I just recently moved the most recent batch that I taught online. So some of those lessons that I'm doing sa bootcamp is in my YouTube channel, which is can be found in bago pa lang siya kaya wala pang short URL, pero you can just like search for it. Code from home. Yeah, feel free to subscribe to it. Ba't bumagal? Okay. And I could like, quickly explain kung ano yung mga videos na makikita nyo doon. Okay.
Make sure to visit that. It's good. Everything that
Yeah,
you can get your hands
and
on, you should.
yeah, since birthday ko next week, I'm thinking of doing 100 days of code, which is 100 days of 1 hour a day coding practice. So it's a good practice. You could actually Google that hashtag 100 days of code. A lot of people do this on Twitter and Instagram. Post lang nila. This is the official website, 100daysofcode.com. It's a good practice. If you want to learn anything, you practice this 100 days straight for 1 hour a day. And for sure, after coming out of that, it's almost equivalent to yung sinasabi nilang 10,000 hours. Okay, so what you could see in here are like some of the lessons na yun nga, shinare ko sa mga students ko. The actual bootcamp lessons that we do. Some of those are listed in here. Some of my webinars. This one, since recorded naman to by like sila Filta, hindi ko na siya na-record. Para hindi ko na siya, hindi na mag-double yung upload. So just find this video dun sa Facebook. And I believe nasa YouTube channel na rin yata ito, no, Jansen?
Yep, it will go there.
Yeah,
So
all right.
yeah. So
So we
make
do
sure to
have,
visit all resources that you can, guys, because it's free. Might as
yeah.
well use it.
So, yep,
Okay, I
there you
think
go. That's it.
most of which for our day. So again, for the certificates, guys, I think we'll be pasting a link again in the comment section on how to get your certificates, on how to register and get a hold of your certificates. And yeah, I'd like to thank you guys for your time. And I know it's been a busy Friday, and yeah, then again, um, we're still lucky that we have jobs. But okay, all right. I think that's most of it. So thank you to all the viewers. Thank you, Jason, for your time. Don't forget to message Jason if you have any questions about anything WordPress development related. And if you hate your job and currently is a developer or even not a developer and you want to switch careers and with a high performing or high level company, might as well visit our careers page fitaglobal.com/careers. But yeah, I think that's most of it. Thank you for your time, guys. I really do appreciate it. Don't bug Jason that much because it's a weekend, but I'm sure he'd
No,
be
it's
able.
okay.
I think it's okay if you leave him a message or so.
All right. Yep.
But yeah, thank you guys. Thank you so much for your time. Bye.
All right.